This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight in the South Today, the trial of a man accused of killing a sea lion draws the attention of marine conservationists across the country. Scientists hope to find the answers to South Dunedin's geological history by looking beneath a local sports field. And a project to reduce Alexandra's street cat population is gaining traction. Good evening, I'm Anastasia Munzer. The Dunedin District Court trial of a man accused of killing a sea lion is drawing the attention of marine conservationists across the country. Jordana White of the New Zealand Sea Lion Trust says the court case illustrates our commitment to protecting endangered species.
One of the few sea lion pups raised each year along the Otago coastline. While the animals are now a common sight in the region, the actual numbers of sea lions breeding in New Zealand is still very low.
New Zealand sea lions are actually a rare species. They are an endangered species. They have the highest threat level classification in New Zealand. So it's the same threat level classification as kakapo. And I think in Dunedin, and to some extent in the Catlins, we are so used to seeing sea lions. It's a normal thing for us to see sea lions on the beach. So there's possibly a perception that they are quite common. And that is not true. They are actually a rare animal. So we only have maybe 250 to 300 resident sea lions on the mainland. We get a lot of visitors from the subantarctics and also from Stewart Island, but the animals that you're seeing on the beaches in Dunedin and in the Catlins are likely the same animals over and over again. It's not just that we have so many.
This week has seen the ongoing trial of 54-year-old Graham Lowry, who was accused of stabbing to death 11-month-old sea lion pup, Rua. White says the court case shows this country's commitment to protecting a threatened species.
So it's illegal, it's not something we're allowed to do, it is for the protection of the species, and so somebody needs to be held accountable, or the person responsible needs to be held accountable for his or her actions. And it also does definitely demonstrate that New Zealand takes these things seriously, that we are looking out for our protected species.
The Crown's case is that Lowry's motive for killing a sea lion was formed when the animal began taking his salmon and ripping holes in his fishing nets.
This is my personal opinion, but there's heaps of resource for both people and sea lions in terms of fish. In fact, sea lions, fish aren't their first preference for diet. They prefer squid and octopus. So while they do eat fish, that's not their main diet. So they may take the occasional fish, but there's plenty for us.
The Sea Lion Trust is expecting the numbers of New Zealand-based sea lions to keep slowly growing, giving people a chance to get to know these marine mammals.
Every year the number of pups goes up, which is a really positive thing. It's still small numbers, but we are going to have more and more sea lions here in the future if we keep going the way we are, which is a fantastic opportunity for people to get to know them. But we have to educate people on what sea lions are really like, how they behave, what to expect from a sea lion, and what we can do to share our space comfortably. Because there's lots of space for us, and there's lots of space for sea lions, and we think there's plenty of room for all of us, and we can all just get along. But a lot of the work that the Sea Lion Trust needs to do is preparing the community for the return of sea lions.
The Dunedin court trial is likely to continue until mid next week. In Dunedin, for the South Today.
A fire in a sleepout in central Queenstown has been extinguished. Firefighters were called to a well-involved house fire on Suburb Street, just outside of the CBD at around 7:30 a.m. A Fire and Emergency New Zealand spokeswoman says the fire turned out to be located in a small sleepout, about 2 metres by 3 metres. She says it had been extinguished by about 8:15 in the morning. Scientists hope to find the answers to South Dunedin's geological history and discover clues to its future by looking deep beneath a local sports field. A joint drilling program between the Otago Regional Council and GNS Science has begun, which scientists hope will provide a better understanding of what sediment lies beneath coastal Dunedin.
What lies beneath? Drillers from McNeil Drilling slowly making their way deeper into the sediment below Tonga Park in South Dunedin.
This project broadly is trying to find out what type of sediment is under South Dunedin and coastal Dunedin sort of harbourside areas, and also to find out the levels of both the shallow groundwater and any kind of deep groundwater effects that might be going on.
The program's part of the nationwide New Zealand Sea Rise project and is supported by the Dunedin City Council, Otago University and Oceana Gold.
So what the scientists here are doing is looking really closely at that core that's coming out of the ground and seeing, you know, are there bits of, say, organic material? Is there evidence of an old estuary deposit, evidence of old beach deposits?
Contractors are using a sonic drill until they hit bedrock, which could be 70 metres below the surface. 6 more holes are set to be drilled around low-lying parts of South Dunedin and the coastal area near the city centre over the next 3 weeks.
And what you can start doing is reconstructing what sea levels were like. So we do know that sea level has changed a lot over the last, say, 20,000 years, but it would be really good to know the details of that.
Material collected will be analysed by scientists and groundwater measuring instruments will be installed in the drill holes. They hope to create a more detailed model of how climate change and sea level rise might affect low-lying parts of the city. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Bloody paw prints and scattered fur were left on the pavement off a Dunedin street after a cat was torn apart by a dog yesterday morning. The attack took place at the lower end of Dundonald Street in Tainui. The young woman accompanying the dog at the time of the attack was distraught and was comforted by her mother amid a heavy police presence. The Dunedin City Council say an investigation is underway and a range of actions are possible. A neighbour who witnessed the attack describes the dog as a pit bull. Speaking of cats, a project to reduce Alexandra's street cat population is gaining traction, prompting a need for more foster homes and forever homes. The concept, led by Central Otago Animal Networkers, has rescued about 30 cats and kittens since Christmas, and organisers say it's only the tip of the iceberg.
Just one success story among many. Workers at Central Otago Animal Networkers have rescued dozens of cats in the last few months from a life on the streets.
They didn't choose to live like this. Most of them have been dumped or have just been lost and, made the streets their home.
But their success rate has started to put a strain on resources, including foster homes where the cats and kittens are kept until a new forever home is found for them.
We're recruiting new members because we found ourselves very busy with the animal issues that are going on in the area, animals that are needing our help.
To help combat the issue, the Networkers group runs a feeding program for the stray cats.
We trap them, neuter them, vaccinate them, deworm them, give them any sort of medical care that they may need.
Cats and kittens are also put into quarantine to make sure they're not carrying any viruses. The network provides assistance in conjunction with some of the many animal welfare charities which have a similar focus.
We foster them and raise them and socialise them to the point where they are able to be rehomed and make someone lovely family members and pets.
She says overall the project to get cats off Alexandra's streets has been an enjoyable one and there's still plenty of work to do. In Alexandra, the South Today.
Still to come on the South Today, more information on Australian rock singer Jimmy Barnes returning to Dunedin, and the search is on for more rugby referees in Otago.
The season has changed, and at Alec Campbell Menswear, in our 3 stores, Cromwell, South Dunedin and Mosgiel, we have it covered. Check out these jackets. They'll keep you warm and dry and stylish. Of course, we're known for our fashion shirts, but in the winter we do have our lovely warm shirts. Look at them all. And we're known for our great range of winter knitwear too. Don't forget our stretch moleskins, 6 colours.
Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
We'll keep you warm and dry and looking just great.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
At the Hard to Find Bookshop, we sell quality books on all subjects from the rare to the recent, and where viable, we will come to you. We have a great reputation for integrity and honesty, so if you're downsizing or sorting an estate and have books to sell, contact us.
Step into Shop on Carroll and discover a shop full of treasures. We have a fantastic range of vintage and retro clothes, upmarket clothing labels, collectible items, beautiful jewellery, quality linen and the best range of vintage haberdashery.
When it's time to say goodbye to your pet, Heaven Sent Pet Cremations are here to help you through this difficult experience. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today for their care and guidance. Phone 489 2274.
Every Kiwi deserves a reliable garage door. Rely on Garrador to protect your important stuff. Just like Darren, his Garrador keeps his favourite right in mint condition. We have a huge range at affordable prices. Visit our website for a free consultation. We stand behind every door.
At Green Island Medical Centre, we are committed in caring for our future and present generations. We know as a young person, coming to the doctors can be quite daunting. Our highly skilled doctors and nurses will make your experience one where you will leave with a smile. Your health is very important to us.
Come on, mate. The blue doesn't go with the brown.
Welcome back. For the third time in 5 years, Australian rock singer Jimmy Barnes is returning to Dunedin. This time it's for his Shutting Down Your Town tour. He's scheduled to appear at the Dunedin Town Hall on September the 25th. The concert is set to include his classic hits, as well as highlights from his new album My Criminal Record, which will be released at the end of this month. The Dunedin show is set to be the first con of his tour and will be followed by shows at Christchurch and Auckland. Tickets go on sale in just over a week. The search is on for more rugby referees in Otago to cope with the number of fixtures around the region at both club and school level. In today's rugby chat with Paul Dwyer, Otago Rugby Referees Association Chairman Chris Hart discusses the pressure on local referees to keep the games running.
Are we short on numbers? Because I've seen a couple of in the draws where you haven't been able to provide referees. What's going on? Because I thought you started the season off okay.
Look, numbers are okay, but where we fall down is that when we have a big week, for example, where all the schools want to play their home games at home on a Saturday. So, for example, last Saturday when we were backing up, there was 23 games in the space between 12 o'clock and 1:30. Right. And then you've got to look after the Colts and the Prems and that sort of thing through the day. So it's more about how we manage the draw to make sure everyone's happy and the schools are happy, but at the same time be realistic about how many numbers we've actually got.
So the schools, are they wanting to play like a group of games in Central Otago or something at the same time, just so they can, what, are they trying to cut down on travel costs? What are they trying to do?
Well, I think what they're trying to do, and like I don't know for a full fact, but maybe they're trying to load buses up, make sure the buses are full when they go through to Central. That makes sense. So they'll load up 2 or 3 buses and play all the games in one area, which puts huge stress on resources of which...
Well, because if they're in Central, for example, you're really struggling with, you'd have to send referees up from here to go and cover those.
Yeah, so like this week, for example, they're in Central and we're battling to fill the games again. So I've got a meeting tomorrow with a few people about how we actually manage not only the draw but expectations of what they actually want from referees and where we can actually get to. Right. For example, on Saturday, just in town alone, we had one guy do 2 games in the morning and then a Prem game in the afternoon. So he made the whole 3. But if we're looking at player safety, then I've got to look after the referees as well and say that's getting a little bit much.
Yeah, because I think Now, I was watching the Lions play the Highlanders at the weekend, and the Highlanders lost, and they probably, I felt they should have perhaps got closer than they did.
Well, I think it's probably indicative of the conditions that they're in. Well, I think that as a player, you're asking the referee just to make sure that he referees consistently through the game.
Yep.
And if I look at the penalties that he's given away in that game, I go, yeah, look,
Right.
they're valid. Right. But if I look at the other side of the coin and I look at what the Lions got up to, I'm saying to myself, well, there's going to be some pretty cross players because there's no real consistency in the way that he's actually interpreted the law on one side versus the other. And I was talking to James Dolman about it, and he said, well, look, to be fair, Hardy, he said that, you know, in New Zealand, you get mocked by the media and you get mocked on social media. He said, over there, they get death threats.
Right,
so it's got to be...
It's pretty serious.
It's not just a game of footy over there.
And you can view the rest of the interview in this week's Rugby Chat online tomorrow. After the break on the South Today, people in Alexandra got to learn a new skill at a recent Give It a Go day, and we take a look at tomorrow's weather.
The Green Island Medical Centre offers everything for your family's needs. Whether you are travelling or coming in to discuss health symptoms, our medical staff provide the best of care. We offer Manage My Health, making booking an appointment or requesting a repeat prescription a breeze. We welcome families like yours. Give us a call today, phone 03 488 2754.
Most of us have spots on our skin. That's quite normal. Finding skin cancer as early as possible is key to successful treatment. Book in for a free check of 1 to 2 moles or a comprehensive full body check with the Mole Doctor in Waverley.
At the Hard to Find Bookshop, we sell quality books on all subjects from the rare to the recent, and where viable, we will come to you. We have a great reputation for integrity and honesty, so if you're downsizing or sorting an estate and have books to sell, contact us.
Autumn is here and it's too late to sow seed. But don't despair, Ready Lawn is the answer to all your garden woes. Call Ready Lawn today on 027 22 88 190.
Step into Ross Cafe, located at Ross Home in North East Valley. We have a great range of hot and cold food, friendly service and a warm atmosphere that you are sure to enjoy. We look forward to serving you soon at Ross Cafe.
When it's time to say goodbye to your pet, Heaven Sent Pet Cremations are here to help you through this difficult experience. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today for their care and guidance. Phone 489 2274.
Every Kiwi deserves a reliable garage door. Rely on Garrador to protect your important stuff. Just like Darren. His Garrador keeps his favourite right in mint condition. We have a huge range at affordable prices. Visit our website for a free consultation. We stand behind every door.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole Map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
The season has changed, and at Alec Campbell Menswear, in our 3 stores, Cromwell, South Dunedin and Mosgiel, we have it covered. Check out these jackets. They'll keep you warm and dry and stylish. Of course, we're known for our fashion shirts, but in the winter we do have our lovely warm shirts. Look at them all. And we're known for our great range of winter knitwear too. Don't forget our stretch moleskins, 6 colours.
Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
We'll keep you warm and dry and looking just great.
Ricky here from Beds R Us Dunedin, your local sleep specialists. Come in and try our huge touchscreen sleep selector, taking the hard work out of choosing the right bed for you. See you here.
If you're suffering from sciatica, lower back pain, hips and pelvis and knees, this technique will work wonders for you. The energy flow is transmitting through the muscles. Come and see Sunny Chin.
Welcome back. Police say a man tried to lure a young girl into a van and crew her out with the offer of puppies. Police say the 11-year-old girl supplied a detailed description of the man after the incident outside the Foursquare in the small Waitaki district town. The man approached the girl and asked her to come into his van to see his puppies. He was described as being in his 60s, of skinny build with a bushy moustache, wearing a dark beanie, a neon high-vis jacket, blue jeans and steel-capped boots. The girl didn't see the van, so was unable to obtain a registration plate number. People in Alexandra were given the perfect opportunity to learn a new skill at a recent Give It a Go Day. The day-long event featured groups affiliated with Arts and Crafts Alexandra, including the town's spinners, weavers and patchwork groups, among many others.
Getting an introduction to the skill of weaving. Spinners, weavers and felters were just some of the groups providing the public a taste of arts and crafts at the recent Give It a Go Day in Alexandra.
We've asked the public to come along and they can join in the activities that we've provided and give it a go, actually literally make something. So like the patchworkers, they're there and they're making pot holders, so you can actually get to a machine and make a pot holder, and we've seen some people do that.
The free day also introduced people to the skills behind model making, the miniature railway being a hit with both the young and old.
The modellers have got their train set out there for everybody to play with, as well as making a model plane, which is very popular.
Some of the attendees were beginners, while others already knew the basics but wanted to learn more, with everyone getting a chance to make something on the day.
Pottery is another one where they've actually can go out there into the room and do some wheel work or do some handwork and make things.
The Give It a Go Day takes place in Alexandra every second year and has been growing in popularity since it began in 2013. In Alexandra, for the South Today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. The Dunedin District Court trial of the man accused of killing a sea lion has drawn the attention of marine conservationists across the country. Scientists hope to find the answers to South Dunedin's geological history by digging deep beneath a local sports field, discovering clues to its future. And a project to reduce Alexandra's street cat population is gaining traction, prompting a need for more foster and forever homes. And now a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. Welcome, Barry Stewart.
Hello, Anna.
Hello.
Nearly 18 months after a skydiver plummeted into Lake Wakatipu, his family say they are still desperate for answers, so we have a story on that. Victims of a predator priest from Dunedin are celebrating after the 93-year-old was finally defrocked by the Vatican. And the former directors of a Dunedin taxi company have been found liable for nearly $100,000 in pay owed to 4 of their former drivers. Interesting story from the Deep South. British grandmother bidding to beat her own record as the oldest woman to sail around the world, alone and without help and without stopping, is back on track after surviving a near disaster incident off Stewart Island. So a courageous effort doing that, amazing.
Yes, definitely.
And the number of passengers through Queenstown Airport continues to soar, if you excuse the pun, 6% last month compared to April last year. And we're down at the netball in Invercargill tonight for the steel match, but tomorrow the World Cup team is named. So netball writer Jeff Cheshire has a look at the contenders and ponders who's going to be in and out of that team. So that's announced from Invercargill tomorrow, so we'll be there for that as well.
Awesome.
That's us.
Thank you, Barry. Awesome. And time now for a look at tonight's weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by MoleMap.
Looking at the situation, we have an anticyclone in the Tasman Sea which will move over the North Island tomorrow and Friday, with a light westerly airflow over southern New Zealand, bringing mostly fine weather. Looking at the southern towns, Balclutha, Catlins, Gore and Lumsden can all expect fine weather with light westerlies and a high of 13 degrees. Travelling westward to the Central Lakes, tomorrow set to be a fine day for everyone with light winds. Alexandra and Wanaka can expect a high of 14 degrees, Queenstown and Te Anau 13. Looking further north along the coast, Oamaru and Timaru are in for fine weather with light winds and a high of 14 degrees. It is much the same for Omarama and Twizel with a high of 13. In Dunedin tonight there will be some low cloud with an overnight low of 9 degrees. Tomorrow sea cloud breaking with sunny periods increasing during the day and light winds dying out with a high of 13 and a chilly low of 2. And on Friday you can look forward to sunny skies, light winds and a high of 14. Heading to Invercargill tonight, it should be mostly cloudy with an overnight low of 5. Tomorrow brings sunny periods and some cloud with moderate winds and pleasant temperatures, a high of 14 degrees and a low of 4. And on Friday you'll have sunshine and scattered cloud at times, light westerly winds and a high of 14 degrees. And that's all for our news this Wednesday. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz and follow Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube. Have a great evening. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.